All right, looks as if we're all good to go here. Sorry about that. I just had to quickly check and make sure that all my ducks were in a row. Not all the time do you even need to have it all in a row. You just need to have them in the same pond, is what I found out. But first out on track is going to be the Mercedes of Anto. Is going to be out first, making his way through Sandoval now. And he's already invalidated his lap with what I believe it was exiting the pit lane was his problem then, but it's not going to matter at this point. We've only just started. I haven't gotten a ping yet saying that there's been any weather in the area. I'm hoping that's the case. As Valentine has led us off with Raise Hell, praise Dale, go into jail, hopefully with bail. That is, I tell you what, that has got to be the most American thing I've ever heard in my life. Let's take a look at the point standings while we have a minute. This is after the Circuit of the Americas race last time out. Mandy goes in the lead of the championship at 156 points. Final Flame at 130. Gab in fourth at 117. He's actually tied with Fuse Rogue at that 117 mark. Jaw in P6 at 107. Valentine 104. DB the best at 93. Soy Loco 90. Call Me Maybe rounds out your top 10. So Mandigo's having a good season so far. Only a couple of rounds left to go. This is going to be the 10th round of the season out of 15. As far as the constructor standings are concerned, we've got McLaren leading the way at 263, Aston Martin at 232, Williams at 196, Haas at 193, good little battle there going for P3, Alfa Romeo 173, AlphaTauri 172, Mercedes 161, Ferrari 114, Alpine 118, and Red Bull rounding out the grid at 109 points. And it looks like Anto is going to bring that car back into the pits here, so slightly odd. But he has decided to call his initial run out to quits here. He's called it quits on that one. Our first time lap of the day does belong to Fuse Rogue. He's making his way through Massenet now and in towards the casino corner. Down the hill, past the tree root there. As you can see, he's kind of avoided into Mirabeau and into the infamous chicane here at the hotel. This is an incredible portion of the track, this. And as you can see, he's doing his best to get around it very cleanly into Portier now. Exits the corner quite nicely in towards the tunnel. Looking like he's on a pretty halfway decent lap at the moment as he makes his way down in towards the Neuville chicane. In my opinion, the worst chicane in the entirety of F1, but that's an argument for another day. Exiting that in towards Tabac now. This corner does get very tricky when you get into the race. Fuse Rogue's looking like he's got a little bit of a lag going on, but through the best camera angle in the entirety of F1 at Louis Chiron, through the swimming pool, going into Rascasse and Anthony Nogues now. Looking a pretty okay lap from Fuse Rogue here. And as he exits the final couple of corners. And onto the pit straight he goes. Let's see what kind of times he's pulling here. It's going to be in the mid-111s. It's a 111.252 for Fuse Rogue. Not bad. I'm sure he's capable of better, however. Next up, it looks as if we got the Red Bull of P. Gonzalez, who's going to be starting a timed lap here very shortly. Let's go on board with the Red Bull as he makes his way out of Anthony Nogues, and he's about to begin one now. Let's see what kind of top speeds he's hitting here. This is the fastest part of the circuit, aside from the tunnel. In towards Sandoval. He goes only topped at about 150 some odd miles an hour. A little bit of a back end slide there, going through the corner. Up the hill through Beau Rivage, in towards Massenet now. This is a corner which does see quite a bit of action in the beginning of the race. And even after the safety car, sometimes we also see some. Into Mirabeau now, top the hill. Down the hill, in towards the hairpin. Takes a bit of a wider line through it. Fireball has picked up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with DB DeBest. Slightly odd. Exits Portier is P. Gonzalez. And he will be hitting about 176 as he gets into the braking zone at the Neuville chicane. In towards Tabac now. Looks pretty solid, has to be said. Louis Chiron handles it nicely into the swimming pool now, maybe a little bit slow on exit. Not bad to Rascasse goes. And finally, the Anthony Nogues complex back on the throttle he goes. Looks like it's going to be a pretty halfway decent lap here for P. Gonzalez. He's going to go P4, 113.512, about two and a half tenths. 2 and 2... I'm an idiot. What am I trying to say here? 2 seconds and 2 tenths off of our leader of Fuse Rogue at the moment, which Fuse Rogue's lap didn't even look the cleanest, but for the time being, he's at a 111.252. That is a very solid lap for what is no doubt a very talented driver. We've got now the Ferrari of Fireball, who is... well, he's on an outlap here. I'm supposed to be looking at the Fireball of Jorday, who I believe is he's starting one now. Let's find out as we look along with his telemetry. I'm going to say, yeah, he's on a timed lap here. making his way through Massenet, through Casino. Looks pretty good. I'll have the timing line here in a minute. Well, he is slower by about 0.2 of a second. The recharge is not on, so for all indications, he may be looking to stick this one out here and make this a timed attempt. We got the Red Bull, it looks, has gone off, exiting the Neuville chicane. Exiting Portier now is that of Jourdain. Through the tunnel he goes. Down into the braking zone at the Neuville chicane. Got to be careful of that inside barrier. That does clip rear tires quite often. Into back now, and, well, once again, let's take a minute to love this camera angle. Whew! Brilliant. Purple Sector 2 from Jourdain, 3/100ths faster. At the moment, it looks as if he's going to be holding on to this lap. We'll have to wait and see. Making his way through Rascasse and eventually Anthony Nogues. And he'll be coming to the line here shortly. Anso looks as if he's retired. That is going in towards the hairpin. Jourdain has improved by almost 0.3 of a second. He now solidly has that second spot. He's back by about half a second. But I'm just curious as where Anso had retired. P. Gonzalez currently fastest. Now, this is about where the car... And he just hit the inside barrier there probably too hard. It could have been that. P. Gonzalez at the moment was Purple Sector 1. We'll go along with Red Bull here for the remainder of his lap. Looks pretty good so far. As he makes his way down through the tunnel now. Maybe a little bit of round on the back end there. Half a second quicker through the second sector so far for P. Gonzalez. Looks like he's on a pretty good lap at the moment here. In towards Rascasse. Oh, bit of back-end slide there. He got on the power a little bit too generously. That may have helped him, though. You know, sometimes you can really hit the throttle and get some more back-end rotation. It looks like he may have done that, but he has ended up being slower by about 1/10 there. So I'm going to assume that little bit of oversteer coming out of Rascasse probably what's done him in there. I know it was Ayrton Senna who really was one of the few drivers that... I compare him to slightly NASCAR because you see that more or less with stock cars. When drivers do sometimes tap the throttle going through the corner, it does just get the back end a little bit more around. And again, you do see that more with stock car racing, but Ayrton Senna was very famous for doing that, and that was kind of his unique driving style, which really wasn't seen before that. Texas Tornado a bit slow through the first sector here, down by 1/10 at the moment. So we got a Alfa Romeo coming to the line now. I believe is it Alvarado? No, it's his teammate of Altered Fiber, who I believe is going to be starting a new one here as he makes his way up through Beau Rivage and Massenet. Three-tenths of a second quicker through the first sector. Not bad at all. Through the tunnel now. I tell you what, looks a pretty solid lap here from the Alfa Romeo. In towards Louis Chiron. Purple Sector 2 from Altered Fiber. Almost 0.6 of a second quicker at the moment. Right now, I think that would probably put him on pole as he makes his way into Rascasse. A little bit wide on exit there, not bad. Through Anthony Nogues, holds it really well, has to be said. This is going to be a great lap here from the Alfa Romeo. Across the line he goes. Second place, 1:11.302, improves by half a second. He's down by only 5/100ths of a second is the Alfa Romeo. I tell you what, I definitely have a look at this guy coming to the race. That was a very good lap, and, well, quite frankly, didn't see many things wrong with that. I don't know where he would make up that quarter of a second there. Fuse Rogue has put in a great attempt, and his first attempt as well. Manigos at the moment making his way up the hill, who I believe maybe has he just finished the lap here. We'll know for sure when we get to the timing line here in a moment. And he is slower by about 0.6 of a second. We have the Alfa Romeo off up ahead. Next around the line looks like is going to be Alvarado, who has invalidated his lap. So we'll then go along with the Williams of Fuse Rogue, who's going to be coming through here. As you can see, warming up the tires, doing as much as he can as he makes his way into the Neuville chicane. So just to get you up to speed here, it's been a while since I've been here in Division 3. A lot of drivers quite frankly, I don't recognize. We had Wild Poros winning last week in Koto. We had Reimer winning Hungary. Ayahuasca winning both Qatar and Mexico. Final Flame winning Belgium. The Plums winning Abu Dhabi. Gotney Weeb is... well, that's a great name. Gotney Weeb winning Vegas. Jod Imola Brazil was Fuse Rogue. So Fuse Rogue, a driver that really, I would say, rather impressed last season. I don't want to say he's underperformed. As you can see, Freeman has actually, I think, just hit the wall there coming out of Saint-Devant there. But Fuse Rogue taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 rounds in Season 10. So the fact that Fuse Rogue is still here in Division 3, I'll tell you what, he's going to be up in Division 1 here quite shortly. Maybe is it an attendance thing is the only reason why he's not. I mean, he is currently 4th in the standings. He's tied with Gab for that 4th spot. Of course, being that the top 3 get promotion. Freeman making his way through the tunnel now. I don't think it's going to be a lap to hold on to here for him. Purple Sector 2 so far here from Freeman. Mind you that this is only his first attempt. He's yet to set a time prior to this. At the moment, it looks like it might be okay. Oh, as he hit the wall there? No, he got really close, though, didn't he? Deary me, he got dangerously close to the wall there. And I tell you what, Freeman's going to go P8 here. It's a 112.520. Moves within 1.3 of his teammate who currently occupies provisional pole. We do have, I believe, is that the Alpine coming around the final corner now. Well, we do have Texas Tornado making his way through Sector 3, and at the moment, I believe that's at about 0.2 of a second faster through Sector 2. So Texas Tornado here, making his way through Rascass and Anthony Nogues, might be on pace for a good one here as he exits the final corner. Let me tell you, it was a very good exit as well. Across the line is going to go Texas Tornado, improves to P6, it's a 112.306, improves by nearly 0.7 of a second, almost within a second of the provisional pole setter, but P6 is not bad for Texas Tornado. Very respectable qualifying time that. And with 5.5 minutes to go here, I believe that was the Ferrari of Jordi who's crossed the line. He's taken about 0.3 off of his previous time there. The Red Bull up next. It is that of P. Gonzalez, who's going to be starting one here. Let's go along with the Red Bull as he makes his way in through Saint-Devant and up the hill. I believe, is he on a timed lap here? No, I guess not. His recharge is on. He's at 100% battery. Jeez, slightly odd there. That was his outlap, and well, he's chosen not to. Maybe he didn't have a good exit out of the final corner on his outlap there. That is possible. That sort of thing does happen, and I'm assuming that's going to be the case. But we do have Gab now also on track here, and again, doesn't look like this Red Bull either is going to be ready to start a time lap here. His recharge light is on as well. Next up across the line, well, we're going to have, I believe that's the Alpine here in a second. Instead, text messages P14. We do have the Aston Martin next up, who is Valentine, who's going to be starting one here. Currently only, he's currently 3.5 seconds back of the leader. So I'm going to assume it's going to be the good timed lap here from Valentine with 4.5 minutes to go. Valentine going through the tunnel now. He'll be coming up to the Neuville chicane here momentarily with 3:45 to go. Well, I tell you what, he's handled that one quite well. He's done that initial part of the corner very, very good. In towards Tabac now. Does he hold the exit? Yes, he does. Through Louis Chiron. He's quicker through that second sector by over 1.5 seconds. So this will be a good lap. Oh, but I think he's hit the outside wall there coming out of swimming pool. Is he going to abandon this lap? Yes. Oh, that's unfortunate for Valentine there. He looked at least on a respectable lap that time. I think it could have put him in the top 10. And unfortunately, well, I think he'll still have enough time to get back out there. As long as he doesn't mess around in the pit lane here, he may have enough time to get back. But that's an unfortunate end to that attempt there for Valentine. Next up, I believe we have the AlphaTauri of DB DeBest, who hasn't validated. Is he going to be starting a new one here? Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to say he is. He's got pretty much full battery here, making his way up through Beau Rivage and Massenet. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here. Let's see what DB DeBest is doing. He's currently only 5.5 tenths away from Fuse Rogue. Fuse Rogue, who has only set... Whoa, and there's Jaw. 110, 941, the first driver in the 110s. And I tell you what, Fuse Rogue, who made his first attempt, has stayed in the pits pretty much the whole time. He's coming out on track now. He now has 0.3 of a second to make up here with 2.5 minutes left to go. Very, very close. Making his way down in towards the Neuville chicane now. Oh, he's taking a bit too much of the curb. He hasn't invalidated, though. Into to back, looks good, holds exit well. Half a second quicker, but the Alfa Romeo was in the way. Was he in the way? I think he was, because now he smacked the wall at least twice. That was the Alfa Romeo there, I believe. It's Alvarado who, unfortunately, did not get out of the way fast enough there, and I'm afraid that one has severely impacted the lap there of DB DeBest. He's got 1 minute and 45 to get back on track here. I'm afraid that one may not help him, though. And, well, I wouldn't be too surprised if we do get ourselves a steward report later on, because that one was definitely could have been done better. Unfortunate. That was looking a great lap, too. Next around the line, speaking of the Alfa Romeos, I believe is that Altered Fiber. Well, he's just come across the line a bit slower. Oh, bit wiggly coming out of the first corner. I don't think this is going to be a lap to hold on to here for this Alfa Romeo of Altered Fiber. 1 minute to go here. We've got the Williams crossing the line now. Fuse Rogue making his way in towards, what is this, Mirabeau and then the chicane. A quarter of a second faster through the first sector. He does have the Alpha Tauri ahead of him. This is Chief Braids. Welcome back, Chief Braids, as well. Oh, Chief Braids had a big slide then. Fuse Rogue, hopefully the Alpha Tauri didn't get in his way. Unfortunately, I think for Fuse Rogue there, it has to be said, there wasn't many opportunities for Chief Braids to get out of the way. I think that is much different than the appeal that DB DeBest probably was going to have there with the Alfa Romeo of Alvarado. I think genuinely that time, Chief Braids did well enough to get out of the way when he could. At the moment, Fuse Rogue is quicker by about 0.3 of a second through the second sector. Coming out of Anthony Nogues now, down the pit straight he goes, DRS activated, he'll be at 150 across the line. It's going to be a 1:11.082, and he's off by just under 1/10.5. So Jaw, at the moment, looks as if he may just have himself pole position here, as Fuse Rogue, his most notable adversary, was not able to put in a better attempt. Jordan at the moment was quite slower then, going through Sector 1. Across the line now is going to be the Aston Martin of Valentine. Does he improve? Yes, he does, but only up to P14. In front of Jordan here is going to be the Haas of Call Me Maybe. Jordan slower, but I believe that's half a second, as Call Me Maybe coming through the final couple of corners now. We'll have to wait and see how much does he improve here. Oh, it's not going to be the best lap here from the Haas. He may improve a couple of positions. Across the line, he improves 1 spot to P14. Next up is the Mercedes of Meme King, and across the line he goes. He does not improve. He's slower by 7/1000ths. Next up is Alvarado, coming across the line now. Looks like he's on a pretty halfway decent lap here. Alvarado to the line, goes P6. Wow, 1:11.806, improves by 8.5 Very well done for the Alfa Romeo team. They've got 2 cars in the top 6. Very nicely done. 1 driver left. It is Los Mandigos, and I believe we have Texas Tornado as well. Mandigos has called it quits. Texas Tornado has invalidated his lap, so it is the McLaren of Jaw taking pole position here, rather at the death from Fuse Rogue. Fuse Rogue, who may have a very good shot at winning this Grand Prix if they can keep it clean through the first corner. Altered Fiber, I don't want to say is the underdog here, but I tell you what, I didn't expect to see his name towards the top of the timing sheets, and 3.5 is not that big of a gap realistically, especially at Monaco, where anything can happen. But it is Jaw, the McLaren, on pole. So your starting grid then, Jaw on pole, Fuse Rogue 2nd, Altered Fiber 3rd, Jordan 4th, Gab 5th, Alvarado 6th, DB DeBest 7th, Manigos 8th, Meme King 9th, Texas Tornado 10th, Freeman 11th, Fireball is 12th, although does have a 5-place grid penalty. P. Gonzalez 13th, Call Me Maybe 14th, Valentine 15th, Chief Braid 16th, 17th is Dead Text Message, and unfortunately for Anto, he kind of fizzled out there rather early on in the qualifying session, but I tell you what, maybe a very solid race to the first corner here. as the old saying goes, no heroics into Saint-Nevat. Well, that's pretty much all you can do here at Monaco, so heroics we might just see. A lot of drivers' championship seasons, may be heavily impacted from today's Grand Prix. It's not going to be about who's the best, it's going to be about who makes the least amount of mistakes, and Jaw, at the moment, has made very little. He's on pole. I'm going to start the recording now. Mind you, in Division 2, at least last round at COTA, we did not have the formation lap on. I don't know if that's taking place here in Division 3. In case it is, I'll start the recording here, but hopefully we do still have formation lap on. Clear skies at the moment here in Monaco. No sign of rain. And if there was, I'm assuming I would have been pinged by now, but at the moment it doesn't appear that we're going to get any. A lot of driver seasons could be made or broken here tonight. Monaco, always a race to look forward to. You think of the most famous circuits in the world. You think of Spa, you think of Silverstone. You think of the Nürburgring, you think of Bathurst, at least in my opinion. You think of Le Mans, and you think of Monaco. In NASCAR, Darlington being the lady in black. I think realistically this track is the lady in black as far as F1 is concerned. Formation lap is on here. It will be Jaw and Fuse Rogue leading the pack away. I'm assuming the majority of them have taken the mediums here. It's actually, majority have taken the mediums. That part is for sure. Altered Fiber on the hards. Gab and Alvarado on the hards. DB the best on the softs. Got 39 laps to come here tonight. Texas Tornado on the hards. Dead Text Message on the hards. Anto on the hards. Fireball on the softs. I'm assuming if you're on those soft tires, you're pretty much looking for that early safety car to come in. I would assume as long as that safety car is pretty much after the 10 lap mark would be a safe time to come in. Of course, this being Monaco, there's, it's not really a fast track. There's not a lot of degradation, so realistically, the softs are going to go a lot longer tonight, than they typically do. That being said, it is only an advantage for the first couple of laps, so DB the best, really. I mean, he's taking those soft tires. Now, that would tell me on any other circuit that he's going to be looking for blood. He's going to be looking to go for that pole spot. 21 to 30 from the hards to the mediums there. Well, that's going to be a long-ass pit window, but any other circuit, I would say DB the best, he's probably going to be looking to take the top spot here. But, again, with how narrow this track is, don't know. The two best spots on the grid, the first row and the back row. Everything in between, realistically, could spell disaster. It's only going to be a matter of time now. As the grid lines up here. Midnight Monaco, the best tradition in the Midwest. About to get underway one more time. And let me tell you, this is a race us casters really look forward to. It will be Jaw and Fuse Rogue to lead them off the line. The lights are going to be turning on here momentarily. There we go, 3, 4, and eventually 5. And now in Monaco, they are off. And let's see, does the McLaren get away? Well, I think he did. He will get out in front of Fuse Rogue as they get to the first corner there. Jaw clears the Williams by the time they get in there as they circle up the hill through Beau Rivage and in towards Massenet. All looks clean towards the back, a little bit shuffling around, but for the time being, it does look as if the grid has filed themselves up through the hill as cleanly as they possibly could. But now we get into the very tight and treacherous hairpin section of the track, Sector 2. Let's see if anything happens here. This is the place where moves are going to be made. There's the Alpine of Texas Tornado looking down to the inside of Los Manigos. It's a brilliant move to try to make it a little bit of a traffic jam there. Texas Tornado has gotten around Los Manigos. Call me maybe, I think he's gotten around Freeman. Is Freeman missing wing? I'm not entirely sure. He's slightly far behind that battle. in towards the Neuville chicane now, as Jaw leads Fuse Rogue, leads Altered Fiber, and behind them, Jorday, who has not gotten that good of a start, is now behind by about 2 seconds. But I think for the most part, the top 7 cars, yes, they've stayed exactly the same. The moving about has happened in the back end of the grid, the back half. And for the time being, everything stays quiet here in Monaco. But here's Fuse Rogue now. Does he have enough to chase down Jaw? If the move is going to happen, it's got to happen either here or maybe into Tabac. That's the only other place I could find it happening. Even perhaps up and through Massenet here. We've seen it done. Up the hill they go. Dead text message on his way in. Perhaps a wing change coming for dead text message. As Fuse Rogue exiting Casino now, heading down into Mirabeau. Does he have enough to get through to Jaw? It's not going to quite happen this time. We look a little bit further back. DB to best. Is he going to try anything on Alvarado? No. Somebody, I think it was the Alfa Romeo that locked up a little bit further ahead. As the cars file their way down the hill. I tell you what, we're getting a lot of separation in the grid here quite early as well. Looks as if Altered Fiber, something has happened with the Alfa Romeo. He's now behind the top 2 here by 1.5 seconds. I'm wondering what has happened with him here. Of course, he is on the hard tires. Therefore, he will be slightly slower out of the gate here. But either way, he's kept the start here clean as the top 2 file their way through the swimming pool and in towards Rascasse. Oh, but Fuse Rogue, well, I tell you what, a little bit glitching going on here from Fuse Rogue has to be said. It looked as if at some point he had hit the wall through that exchange. I'm not sure he actually has. We'll tag along with these couple of cars here. Jaw with the fastest lap. Let's see, does Alvarado try anything on Gab ahead? DRS is going to be activated this lap, although DRS only taking place down the pit straight. So DRS really not going to come to your aid whatsoever at this track, although it is still helpful when it can be used. As they make their way now down once more towards Mirabeau and in towards the hairpin now. Jaw leads by 0.6 of a second. Oh, I think he's gone wide, though. It looked as if the camera angle wasn't the best. I think he did go slightly wide through the corner. That is shaved off about 0.2 of a second there. And now Fuse Rogue. Oh, I think Fuse Rogue may have had a look. He had some oversteer there coming out of Portier. And now in towards the Neuville chicane. All looks quiet for now. We got the Alfa Romeo of Altered Fiber in the background. 2.5 seconds behind this battle early. Through Tabac they go. Now through, what is this, Louis Chiron and into the swimming pool. 0.6 of a second at the top. We do also have P. Gonzalez. We have Meme King actually within 0.2 on Mandigos here. It's a good little battle for the 9th spot. As Jaw sets the fastest lap. Oh, I think the Alpine of Texas Tornado may have gotten into the wall there going out of Rascasse. A little bit of sliding on the back end there for Meme King. Call me maybe 6 seconds behind. Something wrong with the Haas. He's rather fallen off the rest of the top 10 here very quickly, as we do have a dead text message at the back. May have had something going through the tunnel just then. We do have both Fireball and Valentine coming into the pits now. Perhaps the 2nd and 3rd wing changes of the day. Into the corner, Meme King just having a look there towards the inside. You're not really going to find anything into the corner. Although it is possible, if there is, if we do get a safety car and there's a backup going into there, you may find something happen. We've seen it before. It's not out of the question. I'm just hoping with these 2026 regulations, we get these cars much smaller, as far as the length and the width of the chassis. That will allow us to go racing at this track properly. As Texas Tornado didn't have the best go through the Neuville chicane that time, Mandigos nearly had an opportunity to look at the spot, although not quite close enough. Here's Alvarado, who is now within 0.2 of Gab here. Oh, I tell you what, he wanted to look down to the inside. Gab covered the line nicely, and now he is down to the inside. Oh, but I think he's had to back out of it there. Yeah, he was never going to make that position happen down to the inside. Not against the skill of Alvarado. That is just such a tight space to try to make something happen. And I'm afraid he knew it too. And then there he is. He's just hit the wall coming out of Saint-Navat. Up the hill now, DB DeBest trying his best. Through Massenet they go. DB DeBest hot on the heels here of Alvarado. Really close to that Alfa Romeo as they make their way towards Mirabeau. As we do have, what is it, the back marker? Oh, we got the Red Bull going off ahead. The Red Bull of Gab. And I believe is that Texas Tornado. Texas Tornado slides into the corner now. No, that was that was Gab. And I believe that was the back marker there of dead text message. Dead text on the outside. And unfortunately, at least in Gab's opinion, I don't think dead text message moved out of the way quite fast enough. And there is the end plate missing on the left front side of Gab. And that is a horrendous mistake there from both drivers. And I tell you what, he is not going to be happy about that. Fuse Rogue with our first time penalty of the day. 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. I have to believe that was going through the swimming pool section. Unfortunate for him, he is now 2.3 seconds behind his Texas Tornado. Something's happened with him. Yes, he's off at the barriers, and he is blocking the entirety of the track here. Look, oh, goodness me. Okay, virtual safety car came out, and the car has been ghosted, and he is really perpendicular with the circuit now. The front wing is gone. As Texas Tornado went for a quick little spin there, the front wing is missing from that Alpine. And unfortunately, the day for the Alpine team has gone from bad to worse rather quickly, entering the 5th lap of the Grand Prix here. Jaw has the lead by almost 3 seconds over Fuse Rogue. Altered Fibered 3rd, Jorday 4th, Alvarado 5th. The top 4 stay the same. Everything else has actually changed quite a bit. Although a lot of that, I think, has to be done to pits. Gab has come in, Freeman in, Anso in, Texas Tornado in. Oh, my brother's calling me. Interesting. Green flag back in the air here. Let's see what my brother has to say. Yes.
Josh,
What's up?
so you know the warehouse games, right?
Yeah.
And you know the Woogas, right?
The who?
The Woogas.
No, I don't know who that is.
They were a team in floorball, a new team in floorball.
No, I
It's
don't.
like floorball, yeah. Well, they were a new team, and now they are officially a franchise, right?
Sure.
Guess who is the captain for the Woogas?
Who is that?
Jimmy Norp.
Say hi to the broadcast, Brock. You're live in Monaco, as it turns out.
I'm Monaco.
Pretty interesting race so far. We just had a slight backup there with Fireball and Valentine getting off there at the Anthony Noakes chicane. And we just saw Jaw come in there. Well, there was a slight backup there, is what it turns out. We saw some cars go around. We did see Jaw come into the pits there temporarily. He's fallen back down to P6, but he's coming for the mediums as well. So he's gone medium. Slightly odd situation there. Oh, is that? Who's that that's gone off? Is that dead text message? Yes, he has. He's binned it. Up, going out of Sandoval there. No safety car. The track stays green. I'll talk to you later, Brock.
Yep, watch them.
I don't know. Was that really that important? Anyways, here's Jorday. Oh, I tell you what, we do have Alvarado there. Really tried to... I tell you what, Jorday may have had a slight mistake there. Alvarado nearly had the door open. Oh, look at this! Down to the inside, DB to best. Look at this, and there's Jaw in pursuit. It's going to be side by side going up through Massenet, or Beau Rivage in towards Massenet, and DB to best gets around the outside. Well, I tell you what, that was our first proper Monaco overtake of the night. Oh, there's Alvarado! And he's off, and he's done. Alvarado got way too much throttle coming out of it. The safety car is on track. There is pieces of carbon fiber everywhere. Very unfortunate for Alvarado, who to that point was having a pretty halfway decent Grand Prix, and the safety car is on track not only a couple of laps after we just had our virtual safety car. And that is really going to hurt Fuse Rogue, who will need to stop here. Drivers like DB DeBest and Jaw may take a lot. Who was it that did come in? Jaw didn't come in? Manigos didn't come in? I could have swore I saw them on the inside of the pit lane there, but I guess I'm wrong. That's okay. I'm wrong from time to time. Top 8 drivers apparently have not pit. So Fuse Rogue will probably maintain the... Oh, Fuse Rogue stays out. Jorday, what does he decide? Jorday stays out too. DB DeBest will come in. He's on the softs. The softs in which he started the race on. Jaw will stay out. Mandy goes in. Mean King in. Front wings going on for Mandigos. Meme King maybe as well. Call Me maybe on the way in now. Front wing has gone on for Call Me maybe as he's going to exit the pits now. The top three remain out on track, which is a slightly bold strategy there. Jorday has second, Jaw has third. Everybody else has decided to make their stop. Safety car is out on track. I'll step aside while we get them back bunched up here. In just a minute. Something has not gone right here. P. Gonzalez has, I believe he's retired to the pit lane. Yes, he has. Well, that shortens the field down to 15 here. As we're about to begin the 12th lap of the Grand Prix. Under safety car for the time being, although I think we may end up going green this lap if Valentine gets caught up here. They're coming to the timing line here shortly. Safety car will be in this lap. Fuse Rogue and Gab at 3-second penalties. Anto has a drive-through. I'm assuming perhaps for speeding into the safety car. Now, this is interesting here. The robot of P. Gonzalez has decided to go back out onto track after retiring in the pit lane. Thankfully, the car has been cleared by now, but we've seen that sort of thing cause safety car before in Division 1. That was at Suzuka, I believe, 1 or 2 seasons ago. Back to green flag we are here. DB the Best, who we saw making a brilliant overtake. Back to fourth here as they make their way in towards Sandoval. Up the hill they go. Jaw is really looking forward on Jorday here. Jorday has been slightly lacking for pace. Oh, and Jaw wanted it up the inside, but he nearly got sent into the wall, and I'm kind of glad he backed out of that because that would have been absolutely detrimental for the McLaren there. He really wanted it up the inside. Unfortunately, he was just not going to be allowed the space. Into the hairpin they go. Fuse Rogue has found the lead, although does have a 3-second penalty. Little bit of bumping going on back there between Gab, I think Altered Fiber, and maybe the Mercedes Meme King as well. Slightly an accordion effect happening there. Jaw's gotten slightly out of shape coming out of Portier. DB the Best here trying to close in. Mandigo slipping behind. Entering the chicane they go. DB the Best goes deep into the corner. Has to take it slightly slower than the two cars ahead of him. Going through to back and in towards Luis Chiron now. Gab has gotten around Altered Fiber. Yes, he has. Altered Fiber's missing a front wing. Oh, and the day for the Alfa Romeos goes from bad to worse. As Altered Fiber... Oh, does he hold on to it? No. Double DNFs for the Alfa Romeo team. And you have to feel for him because, quite frankly, those two cars were at such good opportunities to lead this Grand Prix. Oh, look at this! Jaw up the inside! Under pressure from Jorday. DB the Best involved as well. 3-car battle up the hill in towards Massenet. Jaw stays ahead of Jorday. Jorday stays ahead of DB the Best. Very close battling between these three here as they make their way in towards Mirabeau and then the hairpin. DB the Best very close then to the back of Jorday. Kind of poking his nose into this battle of Mandigos as well, but Mandigos being on the hards at the moment. Not trying all that hard. Well, he's on the hards. He's not trying all that hard. He knows that 3 out of the 4 drivers ahead of him still have yet to pit. DB the Best eventually will inherit the lead of the Grand Prix here once Fuse Rogue, Jaw, and Jorday pit here. But for the time being, it does remain the top 3 who started that way are at the moment... Well, I mean, they've traded around a couple of positions, but for the most part, they're all in the same part of the circuit. Has Valentine gotten around Texas Tornado? I think he has, although his Texas Tornado... maybe that was a genuine overtake there. Hard to tell. Oh, the McLaren of Mandigos, I don't think got away well. Going out of Anthony Noakes down to the inside. It's going to be Meme King here. Meme King has, in fact, backed off. But good effort there from the Mercedes to at least keep the McLaren on his toes. Speaking of the McLaren here... Jaw has gotten out to a 1.2 second lead over Jorday. Jorday in serious trouble. DB the Best all over the back of the Ferrari here. As they head into Mirabeau they go. Jorday stays ahead for now. As behind them, it almost looked as if Meme King was going to try to make something happen there. Not quite, but in towards the hairpin now. The cars for the time being will file themselves through there. All nice and... Well, nice. That's the only way to put it. They haven't hit each other. They're doing well. Less than a 0.2 of a second now. DB DeBest holding on to the back of Jordan here. Remember, we saw Mercedes, I think it's Season 3, try to go side-by-side into the Neuville chicane. He got squeezed against the wall. He ended up flipping onto the halo and sliding down the track then. Thankfully, that didn't happen here, but DB DeBest is not looking to play it cool here. He wants this position. He is really trying to pressure the Ferrari, and the Ferrari ahead of Jordan trying... Oh! DB DeBest, does he see me? Yes, he does. He is going to lose position to both Mandigos and perhaps Meme King here. Meme King has hit the wall on the outside, and I think he's lost his front wing as well, at least. Yes, he has. I think he's missing the end plates. Well, unfortunately there for Meme King, that was all just calamity. No, he hasn't missed. He's not missing the front wing. He has definitely hit the wall, though, on the pit straight. That is surely not going to help his downforce then, but... DB DeBest got wildly out of shape coming out of Anthony Nogues. And Mandigos was at least able to overtake him there. Meme King almost got away with it as Mandigos went down to the inside. Meme King tried to go around the left side. And that's probably what put Meme King in the wall, unfortunately for him. The track stays green and everybody stays on track at the moment. I was just about to say, Jordan was really worrying about having to defend behind from the AlphaTauri there. I really thought DB was gonna make something happen there. Unfortunately, it's rather slipped away from him for the time being. Not even halfway through this Grand Prix yet. We still have a lot of time for things left to happen, and mind you, the top three still have yet to stop. That will mean now Mandigos will inherit the lead. There's a little bit of oversteer there from Jordan, making his way out of Rascasse. Down the pit straight they go. DRS activated, but not being used by the McLaren here. Up the hill through Beau Rivage, heading towards Massenet and eventually Casino after that. 4 cars in very close succession, as well as Gab is in this as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cars. Oh! Meme King went down to the inside on DB DeBest there, and the car nearly went around. That was very close. Got a 5-car battle here for what is the 3rd spot. The AlphaTauri of Chief Braids trying to make his move into this as well, although the more these guys battle, the more that 2.5-second gap will be even less. Oh, Mandigos and Jordan! Oh, they're side by side! Oh, they're crashing through the tunnel! They've hit DB DeBest as well! Oh, it was such a calamity. Jordan's lost the front wing. Mandigos tried to go to left side. Jordan tried to block off the line. And Jordan is DNF'd the hard way there, I have to say. At least the virtual safety car out on track. That is so unfortunate there. Mandigos wanted to do his best to take that left side. Unfortunately, going through the tunnel there's just simply not a lot of room. We saw Fernando Alonso do that with a back marker probably about 15 years ago at this point, but unbelievable stuff here as Fuse Rogue is pit. I believe Jaw has pit as well. DB DeBest will inherit the lead of the Grand Prix here. Virtual safety car is on track. DB DeBest has first, Meme King second, Gab third. And I'm just wondering here, if any, how much wing damage any of these cars had. There was a lot of calamity there. Mandigos surely has replaced a front wing after that. Anto's picked up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, virtual safety car, down in P14. Wow. Such a shame there for Jordan. He was having a great race, and fairness to Mandigos, you know, if you see the opening there, you have to try to take it, but unfortunately, when you go through that part of the circuit, it's just never going to happen correctly, and well, that's the end of that's the end of the story there. We may very well be looking at stewards after this one, and that comes with the territory as well. We're in Monaco. That sort of thing does happen. Valentine, 0.7 of a second here, back to Freeman. Valentine, despite having a relatively quiet day so far, has managed to stay out of trouble. He's up to P12. He now has Freeman ahead of him. We're going to go up to Jaw here. Is within half a second here, and Call Me Maybe. We Call Me Maybe's up 7. Chief Braid's up 11. In towards Casino now. Oh, Jaws hit the inside of Casino. Is he missing front wing now? No, somehow. But that was a noticeable hit that time. The blue flag's ahead. The blue flags are going to be for, I believe, that Mercedes. It is Anto. Who, as you can see here, we've got the Haas and the McLaren behind him. Now, Anto is still, I would say, far enough ahead to where he doesn't need to cede to the blue flags. You don't want to... You know, you don't want to be in the way of the cars. Oh, but he's got the inside wall there, and now he needs to see the position. These cars behind him are now well close enough, you know, for a mistake by Anto to severely impact their race. Anto will need to cede position here, surely. Where he's going to do it, I'm not sure, because these two cars are very close behind me. You can see Call Me Maybe trying his best. Yeah, this is getting risky here. Anto's going to pull into the pit lane. He does have to serve the drive-through penalty, mind you. And that will once again open the battle between Call Me Maybe and Jaw. This next time by, we will be halfway through the Grand Prix. Jaw's picked up 3 seconds there. He's gone too deep, going over the curb through San Devati. He was looking more towards the inside. Fuse Rogue on Chief Braids there. Nearly happened side by side. And it looks as if Call Me Maybe was able to hold the inside. Oh, but I was going to say their Jaw was going rather slow. I thought maybe it hit something. No, as it turns out, he's just had to back off then. Fuse Rogue trying to make something happen. Back to Chief Braids for the 4th spot. Reminder, Chief Braids' teammate of DB DeBest has inherited the lead after taking the pit strategy under the safety car, whereas Fuse Rogue, Jaw, and whoever else it was stayed out at the time. So they've been relegated back to about P5. Fuse Rogue here within half a second on Chief Braids, despite having the 3-second penalty to try to negate here. At the moment, he won't be losing position behind to Call Me Maybe. I believe we will have at least one more stop left in this Grand Prix here. I'd be surprised if we didn't. Oh! Chief Braids has gone into the barriers! Now, that one seemed rather sudden. Did Chief Braids receive help from behind? Is going to be my question there. Or was that a pure overshot? It was hard to tell. You don't typically go into the barriers on that section of the track. He went straight into the barriers at Rascasse there. If he had... I think if it was error, he would have gone more deep into the corner before hitting the wall. I think he may have had help from behind there. Tough to tell. At the moment, though, he stays on track. He doesn't have any noticeable front wing damage. But, yeah, something has happened there. Texas Tornado and Jaw have decided to come in here. That'll promote Valentine to P9. 0.8 of a second here as Call Me Maybe tries to strike it. Chief Braids here. Mandigo's about 5 seconds behind these two. Halfway through the Grand Prix now. DB the Best leads Meme King by 3 seconds, who leads Gab by 7, who leads Fuse Rogue by 1.5 seconds. Fuse Rogue and Gab realistically battling for position here, both of them on 3-second penalties. Fuse Rogue just needs to keep it clean for now. That's going to be his job. As he now breaks that 1-second barrier. Oh, what has happened here? Has Gab gone deep into the corner? Fuse Rogue's gotten around him. Well, I tell you what, this is getting slightly odd now. We saw the glitching and jumping about from Fuse Rogue ahead, and that time it was Gab that ended up in the barriers there. I'm wondering if it was perhaps the connection from Fuse Rogue, because you could see, even just looking at the car here, it is a noticeable bit of lag spiking going on here. Of course, I'm one to talk. I'm literally powered by an internet hotspot. But here's Jaw down to the inside. He does get past Texas Tornado. Wow. Oh, Texas Tornado's missing the front wing. Oh, I see. I was about to say, what a ballsy place to make an overtake, but I think it was just on the error of Texas Tornado as he comes in here, and we'll be looking at a front wing change. Mandy goes within 0.6 of a second of Call Me Maybe here as they make their way into the hairpin. Mandigos, remember, involved in the incident regarding Jorde's DNF. Coming out of the tunnel, he tried the left side, and unfortunately there wasn't much left side to be had. Call Me Maybe is, well, he's about a 1.2 behind Chief Braids. Call Me Maybe has to be said, it looks like, what is he up, like 11 spots? He's up 7 spots, Chief Braids up 10. As into the pits now, I believe, is Meme King. That'll promote Fuse Rogue back to 2nd, Gab to 3rd. Meme King at the moment may keep a couple spots here. I think he's going to lose it to both the AlphaTauri and the, maybe the Haas and McLaren here. It's going to have to be set close, yeah. so Meme King down to 7th, although not bad. Up the hill through Beau Rivage they go, up towards Massenet. Manigo's looking for it here. He's not going to find it at the moment, still a bit far back. 0.3 of a second is quite the gap to overcome here at Monaco. Has to be said, we have a yellow flag. Oh, Texas Tornado's retired! That is coming out of the Neuville chicane! Sorry, I'm just trying to search and see if we can get a camera angle here. I don't think we can. That was at the Neuville chicane. What in the hell? That's where the incident took place, I'm assuming, as he hit the inside wall coming out of the corner. I'm going to assume that was the case. Texas Tornado will not finish this Grand Prix. We're down to 12. Yeah, I'm assuming he just clipped the inside of the barriers there. That would be my guess, because he was well deep in the corner to actually... Well, yeah, that's got to be the only answer. Maybe either that or as he spun the car around. Could be. Either way, the track stays green. Oh, John Valentine getting into it here. This is at the Neuville chicane. And these two cars, I believe, maybe tried to go side by side into the corner. And unfortunately, that's going to come to a close. Meme King here on Manigos. This is once again a very close battle here. These four cars very close together. Oh, here goes Meme King trying the right side through Beau Rivage. Insert Lance Stroll here. Meme King, does he get around the outside? Yes, he does. And Manigos, I think, really just had to kind of cede the position there. There was no way he was going to be able to defend with that car. His jaws retired, that being in the pit lane. Now down to the inside is Meme King on Chief Braids. Meme King on the fresh tires. He's gotten 2 cars in 1 sector. Brilliant stuff from the Mercedes here. My goodness me, Meme King seeming to do the impossible in only a couple of corners time. Mind you, he's on the fresh tires. He came out at P7. He's up to 5th now. Very, very well done for the Mercedes. And now has Call Me Maybe in his way. DB DeBest still has the lead of the Grand Prix. About 9.5 seconds over Fuse Rogue. Now here goes Meme King looking for the right side through Tabac. Not going to have it. Call Me Maybe's going to have to defend here. That Mercedes is right quick behind him. Through the swimming pool. Meme King got too much of the sausage curb on the inside. I think that's kind of hindered his progress. But now, as they go through Rascassen, through in towards Anthony Nogues now, here they go. DRS activated for Meme King. Will we get a DRS overtake here? Looking for the left side in towards Sandoval. Is he going to get it around the outside? It's going to be close. They make contact. They're doing as best they can up through Beau Rivage now. And Call Me Maybe stays ahead by the thinnest of margins. Wow. Some great action we're seeing here tonight. Brilliant. Just brilliant stuff from Division 3. And now does Meme King have anything here in towards Mirabeau? No, he's going to have to wait maybe for the hairpin here. Oh, he had a quick look. He's going to lock up in what I believe was kind of a, I don't want to say hesitation, maybe misdirection there. You know, he's kind of changed his mind. And now right up against the back of the Haas here, in towards the tunnel they go. Call Me Maybe kind of defended a little bit, although inadvertently, as it was the oversteer coming off the corner, which made his car shoot down to the inside into the Neuville chicane. Now Manigos is back in this battle, as well as Freeman behind, as well as the Red Bull of Gab, as it looks as if has DB DeBest come in. Yes, he has. He's gone to the mediums. Fuse Rogue inherits the lead. Down to the inside is Meme King. He gets Call Me Maybe through Tabac. Look at him go! 3 overtakes, pure on-track overtakes in 3 laps, and Call Me Maybe has gone off, and he's out of the race, and the safety car on track, and I think that was all pure error then by the Haas. This is at the swimming pool, coming off the corner. Yeah, that car's well backed around. Oh, and Call Me Maybe got overtaken, and it was just, I think, a pure mistake from the Haas, unless did he have help from behind, I'm not sure. But now this is interesting here, the second time that Fuse Rogue has taken the lead and has had the lead negated by a safety car. As DB DeBest, who, again, on fresh tires, he's only just pit. He is going to have one hell of an advantage over the Williams here when we get back to green. But what brilliant battling we've seen from Meme King. He is absolutely... I think any positions he's going to have today, he has properly earned them. Driver of the day, whether he earns it in-game or not, he's going to earn it in my book. What a lad he's become today. Brilliant stuff from him. Well, the safety car on track here, about to begin the 26th lap of the Grand Prix. I'll step aside until we go back to green. Oh, well, we're really quick here. We are going to see Fuse Rogue pit. I don't think he's going to lose the spot to DB DeBest. I'm assuming he's going to go to the mediums, perhaps even the softs here. And let's see what it decides to do. It's going to be, yep, medium tires going on. Does he keep the lead? This is the question here. DB DeBest has to stay under Delta. There he goes. He gets to the line and he gets Fuse Rogue. DB DeBest takes the lead. Whew, really close stuff going on here. DB DeBest has the lead of the Grand Prix, and now I'll step aside. I hate to... What is going on here? We have DB DeBest and Fuse Rogue ahead of the safety car. Have they been told to pass the safety car here? This is quite odd, has to be said. That safety car is well behind the two here. What is going on? I don't understand why they would have been told to pass the safety car. The safety car will pick up, I believe, the Williams of Freeman here. It's going to pick up the Williams of Freeman. What do you call it? My leaderboards aren't incorrect here. It's slightly odd. Freeman leads here for some reason. DB DeBest and Fuse Rogue making their way through the Neuville chicane. Now, why are they ahead of the safety car? Okay, I don't... Okay, here we go. Finally, Freeman and Gab. I guess maybe the game has told them to go past the safety car because now these two are as well. Which is looked very odd because the safety car was there. It was exiting the tunnel looking to pick up the two. That's really odd. Why has this happened here? We are drastically running out of time in this race here. DB DeBest has the lead over Fuse Rogue. I'll just go along this time to see if the game does allow them to pick up the safety car. Or are we looking at some sort of glitch here? Not entirely sure. I'm just going to hold up. I will step aside once more once this gets sorted, because we are going to have a lot of cars here. Still 10 drivers left in this grid. Anto, I think, is down probably a lap or two at this point, nearly. So I would go ahead and assume that realistically, anybody that at these top 9, if they get lucky, could get lucky here. Now, oh, look at this. DB DeBest nearly overtook the safety car then. You can see he really had to lock up to not overtake it, but that one got close. Well, now that that mystery's been solved, I will step aside here. Safety car is going to decide to come in this lap. At the line this time. We left 10 laps to go in the Monaco Grand Prix. 10 laps to go here at the line. DB DeBest leads Fuse Rogue. Fuse Rogue has a 3-second time penalty to try to negate here. As we're going to go back to green flag. Meme King, Valentine, and Fireball on the softs. Mandigos and Chief Braids in the middle on the hards. That one may get interesting to see there. DB DeBest leads as they make their way through Saint-Nevat, up the hill through Beau Rivage, and up towards Massenet. Meme King really looking forward again here. He made 3 overtakes before the safety car on track, and here he goes, looking for it, around the right side, contact with the wall, and he stayed ahead! How the hell did he do that? As it looks as if Gab, did he get around Freeman? I think he did, but Freeman is now missing front wing on the right side. So while he overtook Gab, I think initially, he has lost position now. But how the hell is Meme King? I mean, this is ridiculous. Meme King here, 0.4 of a second. Oh, he's now looking for the inside of Freeman. Actually, Freeman missing the front wing. He's got to be careful, though. Freeman without the front wing is losing downforce. And now look at this. Freeman, I don't want to say he's in the way of Meme King here, but as Meme King goes into the chicane, the Williams down to the inside. Jesus, that one got close, as there's a conundrum behind them with, I think, Chief Braids and Valentine may... something may have happened with that, I'm not sure. But Meme King up to 5th. Fuse Rogue, well, as you can see, he's still within a second of DB DeBest here. He's got the 3-second time penalty, no getting rid of that. At least in the pits, he'll have to, if he does apply to the stewards, he probably could, but for the most part, that sort of thing is done in-game. Freeman pits as he's knee the end plate on the right front, right front side. DB DeBest leads Fuse Rogue by over a second now. Himself and Gab have 3-second penalties. The battle really here is between Mandigos and himself. If he's able to stay within 3 seconds of Gab, he will take the podium position. Whether he's able to do that or not is going to be the question. Meme King is about 3 seconds behind Mandigos. I'm thinking, does Meme King perhaps have wing damage from trying to overtake whoever it was as they went through, coming out of Casino, or maybe going up through Beau Rivage. That was probably what happened there. Let's just go along with the Mercedes here. He's on the soft tires. Is he missing any wing? It doesn't necessarily look it. Yeah, well, he's gaining time now. He's gotten now almost within 2 seconds. It was about 3 seconds up the hill at Mirabeau, but now, within almost a second and a half, Meme King is going for it here. Mind you, a Meme King, if he's able to get past Mandigos, he could very well have a shot for the podium. Oh, but he's hit the wall coming out of the swimming pool. DRS enabled here. Valentine within a second on Chief Braids ahead. Chief Braids being on the old hard tires might get difficult for him. Meme King has used every inch of this circuit today, and I'm just wondering how difficult is it going to be to get around Mandigos. Mandigos has been involved in a few battles today, and we'll have to wait and see. Very much closing in here. Mandigos on the hard tires. Now, sorry, is he on the hards or is he on the mediums there? I think he's on the mediums. No, he is on the hards. I was right the first time. Being on the hard tires here, it is Monaco. You can defend, and the longer you hold Meme King behind, the less chance he has of overtaking you for that spot. That's the crucial part. The more he uses up those soft tires, the more difficult it's going to become. Valentine nearly had a good look at Chief Braids there, going down the inside through the hairpin, although both of them hitting the wall coming into Portier that time. Here's Meme King, now within 0.2 of a second on Mandigos here, in towards the Neuville chicane. And look at how well Meme King seems to be holding his car at the moment. 0.3 of a second in closing here through whatever corner it was. Oh, and Chief Braids is off it to back, and the virtual safety car is out. Oh, and that's so unfortunate for Chief Braids. And again, he was on the hard tires. It may just be pure mistake. I think it is. He's by himself. And do we see where the car has come to rest? No, but we do see where the front wing has. And that brings us down to 9. Meme King, I think, was really on pace to overtake the McLaren there. The McLaren of Mandigos has rather been bailed out by the virtual safety car now. But this, if anything, this virtual safety car, as much as it keeps Mandigos ahead, it also helps Meme King here. He's able to cool his tires a little bit, and maybe do those soft tires hang on for just a little bit more. Could very well be the case. 0.5 of a second in closing now between these two, who are battling for the 4th spot. Unfortunately, they're now well behind 7 seconds, trying to get for Gab's 3rd position there. Gab having the 3-second time penalty. Unfortunately, at this moment, it does not appear that these two drivers are going to make that position happen unless the Red Bull makes some sort of mistake. Speaking of which, DB DeBesque is ahead of Fuse Rogue now by almost 2 seconds. And if he stays there, he may very well get this win. Fuse Rogue on the 3-second penalty. Doesn't appear that he's going to lose the spot to Gab. And Gab, as we just mentioned at the moment, does not look like he'll lose the spot to either of these two drivers, whichever comes out on top of this battle here. Freeman's within 0.3 of a second of Valentine there. Oh, but Mandigos has not had a good exit of Anthony Nogues. And I think he's hit the inside wall, the pit wall. And he's lost the position there to Meme King. Meme King, the 4th spot. Now he's on the soft tires. The car's ahead of him on, relatively older mediums. I'm just wondering, does Meme King have the ability to catch up here? At the moment, it does not look as if he's closing in fast enough to make anything happen. We'll check in at the back here. Here's Freeman, trying to look for something through Valentine. Oh, Freeman's gone deep into the corner. Well, he was able to hold on there somehow. That one got dangerously close, had to be said. Meanwhile, Mandigos is now closing in on Meme King. At the line this time, DB DeBesque will have 5 laps to go before he is crowned the winner of the Monaco GP. Mandigos teetering in and out of a second on the gap to Meme King, although at the moment he's now outside of 1.3. 5 laps to go here in Monaco. What a Grand Prix it's been. So much action's been going on today. It's actually slightly unheard of for a Monaco race here. It's 0.8 of a second now. Valentine, having gotten around Freeman, is now looking to get around Fireball for the 6th spot. Freeman now within a second of Valentine here as they make their way through Tabac and eventually in towards Louis Chiron. 0.8 of a second, kind of closing here. Remember, Valentine, I believe, on relatively fresh soft tires. Yes, he is 1 lap old. 4/10 of a second and closing here. He's going to have to work to get around Fireball, though. It's not going to be easy for him, that part's for sure. Mandigo's now 2 seconds behind Meme King for the 4th spot. And Meme King has now continued to lose another 2 seconds back to Gab, and I'm afraid the soft tires may be wasting away here for the for the Mercedes, rather. There's Valentine here. Does he try to outbrake Fireball? No, he's not going to get close enough. I tell you what, Freeman nearly went clean into the back of Valentine there. That would have been incredibly unlucky there for Valentine, but these 3 cars battle here for the 6th spot. As we're closing in here, we now have 4 laps to go, as DB DeBest making his way into Sandoval now. We are on board with Freeman here, who has both Valentine and Fireball ahead of him. It's a 3-car battle for the 6th position. Oh, look at Freeman. Oh, he wanted to go down to the inside. He made Valentine think about it. That's the crucial part there. He made Valentine have to defend. Valentine does get away considerably better through the Neuville chicane there. And now Valentine, well, I tell you what, he had a very good go through Luis Charon. Unfortunately, it looks as if he's lost some time going through the swimming pool. The Fireball ahead doesn't look as if he's faring much better. These 2 cars within DRS range of each other here. Valentine's going to have to stay calm and collected here as they make their way out of Sandoval. Trying the right side. Fireball blocks. Now goes to the left side. Not enough room. Valentine's still looking for it, though, as you can see. Oh, but he's gone deep into Massenet as he hit the outside wall. It certainly looked like he got close. And now, Valentine looking for the inside line. He's not going to have it here, but Freeman, who has been, at least these past couple laps here, noticeably later on the brakes, will have to wait and see. Valentine very close to the Ferrari ahead. It's 2/10 of a second and closing. Next time by will be 2 laps to go. Making their way out of Portier into the tunnel. Here comes Valentine. Is he going to look for the left side? Yes, he is. He has the braking zone. He's got the overlap. Oh, he collides with Fireball. He gets out of it. Freeman has to go low. Oh, but this is interesting here. Freeman will give the spot back to Valentine. Although Freeman, I think, had to take evasive action to avoid Valentine and Fireball's collision there, Freeman had cut the corner, and I think the game has recognized that and has told Freeman to give the spot back. The 3 cars stay in the same positions, no harm, no foul, but here comes Valentine looking for the left side into Sandoval. Does he have it? No, he's going to back out of it by the time they get into the corner. But now, this is only allowing Freeman in it more. 3 cars beautifully battling here. Across the line this time, we'll have 2 laps to go. DB DeBest has 3.5 seconds on Fuse Rogue. Fireball hit the inside wall there. I mean, he definitely hit it. He didn't get any damage from it. We saw the sparks. But using every inch of this circuit they can. As Freeman again locks up there, slightly late on the brakes. We have a yellow flag. Oh, I think it's Anto just getting out of the way there for... No, Meme King has gone off at the Neuville chicane. Mandigos is up to P4. Well, we saw those cars battling it earlier on. Here again, Valentine. Oh, and I'm afraid Valentine not going to have the room. Oh, he's going late on the brakes. Valentine into the corner, tries the outside. Fireball picks up a 3-second penalty. Oh, and behind, Freeman loses it. Freeman lost it on its own. He lost it all on his own there. And now Valentine and Fireball collide on their way in. Front wings missing for the both of them. The 3 cars that were battling for position have now all lost their front wing here with less than 3 laps to go. You can't make this up. Valentine stays on track. Freeman comes in. Fireball is going to have to come in. No, Fireball stays out. What calamity we have seen here. Freeman lost it on its own, coming out of the Neuville chicane, going into Luis Charon. Oh, and Fireball is, well, he's retired. That's all that can be said there. But going into Luis Charon, they came together. Unbelievable turn of events here. My question is going to be, Valentine has, what is that? It's only a couple of seconds a lead here to Freeman. Freeman exiting the pit lane now. Freeman has the front wing. Valentine just needs to hold on for another lap here. DB DeBest for the final time, making his way. It's a 28-second gap between Freeman and Valentine here. Valentine has to keep it absolutely clean. Again, he's missing the front wing on the front there. Freeman's tires are going to be cold. The question is, as Valentine makes his way through the Newville chicane now, Freeman is closing in, but not fast enough. It has to be said. Freeman has to get going here, and I'm just wondering, when Valentine comes to the line this time, if he makes it there. Again, he's missing the front wing. He could very well hit a wall here any second, and that will be the end of his Grand Prix. Only 8 cars will finish the race here. Fireball will at least get points for 90%. That part is for sure. But out of the final couple of corners now, Valentine has to go one more lap, but who doesn't have to go a final lap is DB the Best. I tell you what, he's been probably the best driver on the grid, and he will win the Monaco Grand Prix here. Fuse Rogue takes second. Right back where he started. Gab will most definitely come across third here. Manigos will end up getting fourth. Now, I'm not sure what the issue was with Meme King, but he's missing the end plate on the right front side, and it's such a shame. And it looks like Freeman will finish P7. Valentine still has to finish the lap. Manigos will come across to finish fourth here. Meme King to fifth. Let me tell you, Meme King put on a few highlights today. P5 he'll get. But goodness me, I tell you what, driver of the day may have to belong to him. He's put in such an entertaining display there, has the Mercedes. Valentine, as he hits the wall, going through to back now. Just got to hold on here. Freeman's already crossed the line. Just wondering what the incident was between Fireball and Valentine there. We didn't really catch on to it. We were noticing how Freeman had gone off, and then those two, I guess, were side by side, coming out of Tabac into Louis Chiron. But that's going to be the end of it here today. DB the Best taking the win. It's been a pleasure joining you. What an entertaining Grand Prix I've witnessed here today. It has been an absolute pleasure sharing 100 Midwest F1 Grand Prix broadcasts here. Here's to the next 100, 200 even.